Uh, Yesterday we had discussed some of the concepts regarding your stages in contractor placement. Okay, in that, what are the requirement analysis we had discussed first. Okay, how to get the requirements, how to analyze the requirements, what is actually is the requirement and which is the optional, that is mandatory requirements, and the desirable requirements we had discussed. Okay, then we had discussed how to put a tendering process. Okay, how to start with the tendering process. Okay, in that we are going to call a tender, and the invitation will be sent to the different vendors or the suppliers. They will come and bid for that particular tender, and next stage will be, we are going to analyze which is the feasible and which is the more affordable and which is the good, what you can say, the offer you are getting from that particular vendor or supplier. In that case, tender will be given to that particular supplier. This is what is the procedure we need to follow. Then after invitation to a tender, then we are going to evaluate the proposal, evaluation of a proposal, tendering process, because you may get a lot many, what you can say, the offers from the different vendors or something. So out of which you have to analyze which is the best one, and you have to go for that particular this thing. So how you are going to choose which is the best? So for that we do have some kind of evaluation of proposals. Okay, for that evaluation of proposals, first you are going to what we have done is the scrutiny of the proposal of a document. So what proposals they have submitted, whether it is valid or not, whether it is proper document or not, that you are going to check it in some up to some extent. And then it comes to interviewing supplier representatives. Okay, one product representative from one company will be there, so you are going to examine him, what kind of a knowledge he will be having in that particular area, and how he will be helpful for our project, that you are going to analyze. Okay, then it comes the demonstrations we had discussed. Okay, the demo purpose, you will be having free versions of that particular software, so which is not so much open. In that case, you have to buy that product. So for the free trial version, you are going to use that site visits and practical test. And this is another phase. Okay, where the projects, how the projects are getting allocated. The topic is prioritizing the monitoring. Okay, in this section, how the project is getting allocated to the different type of companies, and out of which is more feasible, which is more beneficial for that company, that we are going to analyze. Then after that, there are some situations wherein we need to monitor the prioritizing of that particular project. Okay, so prioritizing the project, or under the it may belongs to the different projects also. For example, if a company is taking is handling n number of projects, for example 3 to 4 projects, it has to share its common resources. Sometimes it has to share the common people, those who are working under the both the type of projects. Okay, so there are some situations it comes where is in some cases where one project is mandatory and they need to deliver that project, and some other projects they will be having at some time span to complete that particular project. So in that case, the company what can do is, the persons those who are working in one project which is still we do have a time to complete that project, and they are going to shift the people in the form of what you can say, either it may be in the form of resources, it can be the hardware or software sharing, or it can be the people those who are working in both the projects. They can shift to the other project which is more mandatory. That is how the what you can say, the prioritizing between the different projects will be done in case of company. Suppose if example an IBM is handling 3 to 4 what you can say, the projects simultaneously. Obviously it is not like that one company is going to handle one project. It is not like that. The many MNCs, they will be handling at a time 10 to 12 projects. okay, and their employee will be dispersed in the different type of projects, and they will be getting training over that particular project. They will be knowledgeable, they are going to get the knowledge based on that, and they start working on that particular project. Later, after completion of that project, they will shift to some other projects which will be in that particular company. So in that case, so here the prioritizing monitor which comes under the different projects also, and in some cases it will be the different segments and the different modules of the same project also. Okay, for example, some of the modules in the project, so they are more important, and it is right now it is required for the customer. So that is on the mandatory requirements of the customer right now. So suppose for example, which is required right now. Okay, so they don't want the complete project is to be delivered. The thing is, the some module which is very much required, and which is the mandatory requirement, that particular module, the resources can be in the same project I am talking about, in the resources can be allocated to that particular module, like the hardware resources, software resources, or the manpower, you can say it as money it is investing in that. It can be any type of, or it can be in the form of sponsors also. So that can be put in that particular module, and they will finish that and they will deliver that module to the customer, and they will be having a time gap and a time span in between, so that they can start with the other module of the same project as per the customer requirements. Okay, so here the customer requirement means what? Whenever a banking application is there, so whenever this thing is there, so they will be having a kind of scenario. So first they will collect the requirement analysis from that particular bank, or the what you can say the customer or the user. Then based on that which is first required, they will develop that module. Then they will allocate the resources into the next module. They will take the input from the what you can say the user or the customer. Then after that they start building the next module in that project. So because of this, the users and their managers, so you can say it as, or else the what you can say who has given that requirement or something, he should be having a complete knowledge regarding what requirement he wanted, and then he has to have a future plan. Okay, in the future plan means he should be very clear what he wanted to approach, what are his objectives for that particular project. Then only, so it is more easier for him, and it is more easier for the developer also to develop that particular project. So in that case, the customer should be very firm in his requirements. Okay, so suppose if there are 10 requirements which is the mandatory requirement, so user and the developer can sit and decide which is the mandatory requirement, and the developer is going to develop that particular module at a segment. Then he can share his resources to different modules as and when it is required. So he just go on developing that particular project. Okay, this is how the scenario will be working in an companies. And you take many software companies, or in case of any other factories you can take or something. So whenever it is required, so that much is giving the part by part. So not in that case, whenever it comes under with the your regular or the normal software applications also, where there is no any type of what you can say the customer is not specific. What I mean to say is, it is not been developed by a particular or a specific customer. In general, you may get a different versions or the different apps or applications in the Play Store from your mobile phone. Suppose for example, you just take the WhatsApp. So whenever, so it is being developed increment by increment. So one increment will be developed at one particular phase. Okay, so whenever the WhatsApp has been released for the first time, at that time we don't have several options what we are using right now. Okay, it was a very basic model on the chat application, where you can chat with your friends. You have to have the contacts of that particular person in your phone. So that is what is the basic first. Then they made a increment saying that groups. Okay, then you are going to create a WhatsApp group or something. Then again in the next increment they come up with the another module saying that okay, you can create a admin for that. Admin have all the rights to add a people to that, delete the people to that. He have all the rights to, and he can delete the group also. That is what the admin is having, that particular right. So then they have come up with some other increment to the same software. So you are not going to uninstall the existing software, just you need to update it from your Play Store, right? So when you update it, the new features which they have added to that software, software that will get adapted in your system. So that is what is the sustainability and the adaptability of the software should be there in that case. Okay, and after that in the WhatsApp only, so they have what they have did is the new feature. So you can add the what you can say the different files like the from images they have come, the video clips they have come up with. Then you can share the files also if it is comes under that particular limit of the size of that particular file. Then you can upload the files also. So now then they come up with the video call in the WhatsApp. That WhatsApp call what now we are using. So they have not released the complete and the this thing of the software, WhatsApp software, at one stretch. Okay, they just released it to the market. They have taken the opinion from the customer. Okay, they have taken the opinion and what is the requirement, what else customer is expecting from the developer or the company. They did it using the market survey or something. Okay, then they start developing in that WhatsApp. Okay, so here they have not the user need not to uninstall the existing system and they need to update it to the they need to install the new WhatsApp application. In that case what they have done is in the existing only you are just adding the patch or the different type of what you can say the new requirements which has come from the market survey from the user, they just adapt it in that case. So, and another thing is also whenever, before some years back we were there in a 3G network, okay, 3G network, now we have moved to 4G network. So, if your mobile is in the position to adapt that 4G network also, so using some patch called VoLTE or something, so you are able to upgrade your mobile to 4G network. So we have not thrown our mobile because it is not supports for the 4G network or something. So we have some patch or increment to the existing software which made us to enable so that our software is getting reliable and it is it should be in a position to what you can say adapt that particular feature what we are. That is what the part by part or increment by increment the software is getting installed. In the similar way, whenever we are developing a software for a particular project, so right now what we discussed is for the general purpose, right? So there are some companies where they are going to develop a particular app for the specific or the particular what you can say the customer. So in that case whenever it is required as the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, how the customer is going to use that particular app, based on that they will give the increment to increment and they will just go on delivering the what you can say the modules of that same project. So in doing so we need to follow some type of what you can say the procedure needs to be followed. So it is not so simple. We just know share that. So how it will be allocated, how the resource will be shared among the different projects and the manpower will be shared among the different project or the different modules of the same project we had discussed. So we need to follow some kind of what you can say the procedure need to be followed. So how it is to be done, how you can cut the project wherever it is not required, it is there, that part you need to cut down. Okay, then how activities will be working, so which is more mandatory, which is desirable requirement, so how it will be manageable within this span of time, how much amount you have invested and what is the budget of that particular project. Everything you need to analyze before you proceed with the same. So for that purpose, what is this prioritizing monitoring is, this section will be helpful to list the priorities we might apply in deciding the levels of monitoring. Okay, so which is more priority? So as per the customer, which is mandatory requirement, so which we need to deliver at that particular span of time. See, suppose if we do have 1 week or 10 days of time, so within that span of time, if you are delivering that particular item to the market or you are delivering it to the customer, means you have to complete all, including the requirement analysis, the design part, coding part, then testing part. After testing only you are going to deliver it to the customer. So that needs to be done in a very short time of span. So in that case, which is to be monitored very carefully. Okay, which is to be monitored very carefully. In that sense, there are some stages or steps need to be followed. So first one, identifying the critical path activities, activities with no free float, okay, activities with less than a specified float, okay, then high risk activities, then activities using the critical resources. There are a slight difference between all these segments or the different type of steps, you can say it as. Okay, what was that? So critical path means activities means, so any delay in this activity on the critical path will cause a delay in the completion date of the project. So whenever we have divided that particular project in the different modules, and we are going to assign each module one specific time. Okay, suppose if a project got divided into 5 segments, okay, in 5 segments, or you can say it as 5 modules, module 1, module 2, module 3, 4 and 5, okay, and we do have a span of 10 months. Okay, it is not required that we do have a 5 what you can say the modules and 10 months in our hand to complete that particular project. We are going to equally divide it up by assigning the 2 months per module. It is not like that. Okay, some modules are very easy and some modules are tough, so that you have to analyze which may take a less time or which may take a maximum time. You have to analyze it before you assigning the time or money to that particular project, sorry, the module. Then you just go on doing the stuff. So there first will be your requirement analysis, then it will be for the designing part, then it will be coding, then it will be testing, then you are going to deliver that particular product. So suppose for the different this thing segments, okay, in that case requirement analysis may take not the 2 months, it may complete, if you did it properly, it may take 15 to 20 days. Okay, so that is how you need to analyze which is more required, so which will take the maximum time out of that particular module that you need to analyze. So here critical path activities means you cannot do any what you can say change in the allocated what you can say the allocated span of time. So here suppose for example for testing I have given 1 month of time. So okay, so for testing I have given 1 month of time, so it will start from first of the month and it will end at the 30th of that particular month, suppose for example. Okay, so it is what you can say the critical activity means you cannot do any modifications in that critical activity. It has to give 30 days or of time to complete that particular module of the project. So if you take 15 days or you are going to finish it in 1 week, no, it won't allow you to do that. So you have to take a sufficient span of time to allocate or to complete that particular project or the module, then only you can do the alteration with the some other type of what you can say the project module. So if you delay in this such kind of activities, that is critical activities, then your complete project may possible to get delayed. So critical activities means there is no span of time or there is no buffer time will be given to do this stuff with that particular what you can say the project module. So you have to be very strict and you don't have any buffer time to complete those activities. 2 months means you do have a dedicated 2 months to complete that particular module. If you delayed it to 2.5 months or 3 months or something, your complete project may get delayed in that case. So such activities are nothing but your critical path activities. So any delay in such activity on the critical path will cause a delay of a completion of date of a project. So that you cannot touch. You cannot do any modifications for such kind of activities. Then it comes activities with no free float. This also comes under the same kind of this thing with little bit difference. Okay, a delay in activity with no free float will delay at least some subsequent activities, even though if the delay is less than a total float. Okay, so here we will discuss what you mean by total float and all. So here if total float means you can take that some time from other activities and you can adjust here in some different modules. Okay, so if you allocated a 1 month and you are able to complete it for 20 days, fine, then the 10 days you can allocate it to some other kind of modules, and where it is actually required that time span you can adjust in that particular this thing. Activities with less than a specified float. Okay, if any activity has very little float, then it might use up the float before the regular activity, monitoring brings the problem for the project manager attention. So with less specified float means okay, so it has to be regularly monitored in that case. Okay, activities with less than a specified float, it needs to be monitored. Okay, and it has to, any changes in such kind of activities will come to the in case of your what you can say, the manager or the concerned person of that particular project. Okay, high risk activities, a set of high risk activities should have been identified as a part of the initial risk prioritizing exercise. Okay, so for that we do have another concept called PERT estimation that we will discuss in detail with what you mean by high risk activities or something. Then activities using the critical resources, next one. In that case, activities can be critical because they are very expensive, fine, and the staff and the other resources might be available only for the limited period. Okay, especially if they are controlled outside of the project team, or any event that activity demands a critical resources requires at a high level of monitoring. Okay, what is this kind of activities using the critical resources? Okay, so here activities can be critical because they are very expensive. First of all, they are very expensive, so you cannot do the trial and error method, and you cannot just move with those particular products or the what you can say, the activities, because they are not for the trial and error purpose. Okay, you should be very cautious and you should be very specific to using for such kind of activities, because they may completely turn over your project in any way. Okay, so in that case, and you may have to invest a lot much amount. Okay, need for if it got failure or something went wrong to such kind of activities, because they are very expensive. Okay, and in the another type of resources is that, so some people, they have come up for only limited what you can say time for that particular work. See, suppose for example in a project, if we do have one segment is to be monitored by some of the expert from Infosys or HP company or any other MNCs you can take. Okay, he will come and do that stuff, and he will come and do that particular activity only for that particular time of span. Okay, so we don't have, we are not what you can say, he is not available for all the time. Okay, so whenever he comes or whenever he is available, so at that particular time that issue has to be resolved. Okay, until or else, so it will be a problematic for him for the project. So similarly, the staff or other resources might be available only for a limited period, especially if they are controlled outside the project team. So that is what, if he is a part of a project or he is a member of the project team, then he is available as a part of a normal job. But if he is controlled by some other external resources or something, then it will be problematic for the project if they could not complete that activity within that person availability time or something. So that is what the activities using the critical resources. So this all needs to be monitored, okay, on the priority basis. Okay, whenever it is required to complete that particular project, so you need to very careful to handle all these activities. Okay, then comes next one, getting the project back to the target. Okay, what is this? Getting the project back to the target. Okay, so we'll discuss. First point we had over here is shorten the critical path, then reconsider the precedence requirements, then maintaining the business case, then exception planning. Okay, the first point is shorten the critical path. So why is this, what is the concept of this getting the project back to the target? Okay, so the first of all, okay, in some or other time, every project, okay, every project will subject to delays or unexpected events. So every time what you have planned, it will go how you have arranged or how you have think. Okay, So there are some unexpected circumstances. There are like the finance, or like the what you can say the legal obligations, like the different type of environment problems or something. So because of that, it is we are not 100% sure that how you have planned, so your project will work in that way only. Okay, there are many different type of obligations in between. There are many type of obstacles, you can say it as, in your project way. So you have to analyze it, and you have to think all over how it works. If this happens, what could be done? Okay, if this happened, if we come up with that particular issue, how to overcome it. Everything you need to plan in well in advance. In all the corners you need to think of that particular project. Then only it will be how you have planned, then it will be work in that context. Okay, if plan A is not working, means by default you need to be ready with your plan B. Okay, in that context, so it will be working. So getting the project back to the target means what? So you have planned something before you start with that particular project. You have planned something, you have assigned something, like the time duration, like the money investment, like the sponsors, okay, like the targeted audience or something. Okay, so because of some reason that may get deviated from its path, what you have planned, and because of some reason, that is what we discussed just now. Okay, the laws, it may be the government laws, or it may be the environmental problem, like the any other, like earthquake, tsunami or something, if that kind of a project it is. Okay, then it comes with the what you can say the different type of a sponsors. If that sponsor is not sponsoring at that particular time, your project will get delayed. At that time many other technologies comes with the same product or something. So what you can say, what you have planned exactly, every time your plan won't work. In that case, you should be ready with your other plan, how it can be done in that context. So your your project should not get deviated from the plan what we have planned. So that to get it on the target, to get it on the path, we do have some steps to be followed for the doing so. They are getting the project back to the target. Okay, so here in the shorten the critical path. Okay, so here overall duration of a project is determined by the current critical path. So speeding of the non-critical path activities will not bring the forward a project completion date. So however, there are several ways in which it might be done. So what is this critical and non-critical activities? That is what in the previous session we had discussed. What do you mean by critical activity and non-critical activity? So critical activity, in some sense you can say it as a mandatory requirement, and non-critical activity you can say it as a desirable requirement from the customer. Okay, or the optional what you can say requirement. Okay, so mandatory requirements, in that sense the critical activity means you cannot what you can say do any deviations to that. It is the main objective. Okay, so critical activity means the time span is very important, the amount you have invested is very important, so you cannot make any deviations. Okay, so you cannot share the resource person of that what you can say the critical activity with other activity at that particular time. Okay, that is what is the main importance. See, suppose for example this thing is going on, so one project manager is required. Okay, and a team leader, several team leaders required. For the testing team there are different team leaders. Okay, and for development team. Okay, and for the requirement gathering there will be a team member. Out of over all these team members, we will be having a project manager. Upward to that project manager, we will be having a management team. So they are taking the what you can say the feedback, how it is working, what is all. So everything they are taking at the same time. So you cannot share that amount if it is a critical activity. That resources cannot be shared at the same time with the other what you can say the activity. So we have to give a highest or the maximum priority to that particular activity. So in that case, so you can work out with the non-critical activities, means you can do some what you can say the change in the timing, and you can allocate that resources. That is okay. It is not won't affect your project directly. In that case, that is what, if you have allocated a 1 month, you can complete it in 20 days or so, and that 10 days you can spare with some other activities. Such kind of activities are nothing but your non-critical activities, so they won't affect your project directly in that sense. Okay, so what is this shortening the critical path? In the shortening the critical path, we have analyzed some of the points. So first one is adding the resources, increase the use of current resource, reallocate the staff to critical activities, reduce scope, then reduce quality up to some extent. Okay, the reduced quality means you cannot put all the low what you can say the quality products or the something. So up to some extent you can do the compromise on that particular quality. So first point is adding the resources. Okay. Adding the resources means what? So first you have to identify which is the mandatory requirement, which are the what you can say the critical activities of that project, and the some staff or some resources can be shared from non-critical activity to critical activity so that it should go very smoothly. Okay, so here the non-critical activity means you have some buffer time or some modifications you can do to that, so there is no problem with your non-critical activity. So adding the resources in that case, which is can be modified, which can be altered from that particular activity, that is non-critical activity. From that you can take some resources and allocate it to the critical activities so that it will be working very properly. So that resources in the form of what you can say the software, that resources can be in the form of hardware or any kind of a material which is required for that what you can say the module. Then it may be the manpower as a part of a resources that people can allocate it to the critical activity so that they will be having some knowledge and it will be go very smooth format, you can say it as. So that is adding the resources. Okay, it can be the fund also. Okay, whenever that fund is invested in non-critical activity, so wherever in case of emergency or something, that non-critical activity fund can be utilized for the critical activity so that you can get a buffer time to complete for that non-critical activities. Okay, that is adding the resources. That could be done from one project to another project. Okay, if it is you are having an a sister company or something, then you can share or you can invest your amount from a main branch to that other sister concern company. Okay, so in that case it can be done. So that is adding the resources, or it could be done in only one project in the same company also. Okay, because we are identifying it from the same project means it is better we'll go with the same project only. So in the same project, in one project, we are going to identify which are the critical activities and non-critical activities, and out of which you can add the resources from non-critical activities. And second one is increase the use of current resources. Okay, again it comes for the what you can say the any type of equipments, or it can be in the form of the manpower. Okay, which is the second one, increase the use of current resources. Suppose for example one person is working for what you can say 8 hours. Okay, you can use that resource, you can use that person resource by giving some what you can say amount to him, or by giving some what you can say as a part of his salary you need to increase or something by giving some extra this thing to that person, you can use that resource. So and some people they are interested to work on extra time, overtime. Okay, in many companies like what you can say the different car manufacturing companies or something, they will be working for shift wise. Okay, morning shift and evening shift or night shift, there are different shifts for the company. So how they will be working on the shift wise, so in some of the employee can be allocated for the OT, so that resource is getting utilized for the other time also. And here for example in our what you can say the lab utilization, the same systems will be there using the same resources, right? So we will be having as a lab setup from morning 8 to 11 one batch, from 11 to 2 other batch, from 2 to 5 other batch. The students are different from the different branches, but we are using the same system. So that is how it is with the what you can say using the current resources, or to use of current resources more or more. Okay, In that case, that is how it works. Okay, you can allocate it for the person by using the extra time or by using the resources. That can be anything. Reallocate the staff to critical activities. This is what we discussed. Okay, so here increase the use of reallocate the staff to critical activities. The project manager might consider allocating more efficient staff, okay, more efficient staff to activities on a critical path, or swapping the resources between critical and non-critical activities. Whenever the project is actually executed, okay, then the critical path may change, the actual durations and activities may vary from the original estimates, and allocation maybe of staff can be adjusted with. So this is how it works. Reallocate a staff to critical activities. See, suppose for example, we have a requirement in one project, okay, and the other person who is there in a different module of the same project or something, who is very good at that particular platform. He is very knowledgeable person, but right now he is not that in that module, he was there in some other module or something. So in this particular case, we can take that person from that module to this module, so that it will be very helpful for us to complete that particular task assigned. So here, reallocate the staff to critical activities. So who is more knowledgeable, who is more efficient in that context, you allocate the job to him. Who is good, okay, good at what, that you need to decide. That is the work of the manager or the project manager, who will decide who is good at what work. Then he is going to allocate that work based on the critical activities. Then it comes reduce scope. What is this reduce scope? So here the amount of work to be done could be reduced by reducing the scope of functionality to be delivered. The client may prefer to have a subset of the promised feature on time, especially if they are most useful ones, rather than the delivery of the whole application delayed. That is what just now we discussed. Okay, the complete project. So right now, user or the what you can say, the person who wanted to use that software, he don't want the complete project or the complete task need to be delivered. Okay, that complete project need not to be delivered. He is in requirement of only one or two module out of which, so which is right now very what you can say required for that particular customer. So in that case, what you are going to do is reduce the scope, which is not required. You just reduce the scope from that part, and you can deliver only one or two module which is more required for that. Then reduce the quality. Okay, so in some quality related activities such as system testing could be curtailed. Why this? This is would be probably lead to more corrective work having done a live system once it has been implemented. Okay, so here does that how we are going to get that particular system testing or something. So if you are done with your unit testing, if you are done with your integrated testing, means obviously 90% your system testing will be successful only. Why? Because you have tested the individual what you can say the items of that particular software, then you have integrated them all together, then you have done it for the integrated testing. Then the complete this thing is not required. When you implement it for the trial purpose and when you started using it, then you are going to get for the different this thing. So system testing can be curtailed. So here there are different, it is not mandatory that you don't have to go for system testing or something, but in that case, if it is required, if it is not actually needed, then you can cut it from your this thing, then you can put that or invest time or money in some other aspects. So in such kind, you can reduce the quality wherever it is allowed. Okay, then reconsider the precedence requirement. Okay, so here the critical activities proves insufficient, then you can go for this particular what you can say here. Okay, reconsider the precedence requirement. Okay, one way to overcome the precedent constraint is to subdivide the activity into the components that can start immediately, and one is still constrained as before. Okay, so it is possible in case of some like the different modules which are not in a precedence requirements. That is what the all concepts are almost similar meaning, have the same meaning. Okay, reconsider the precedence means before you have planned something. Okay, so the module 1, module 2, module 3, module 4. So module 4, there are in some cases what will be there, each module are dependent. Okay, in some cases modules are independent. So based on that, so you can set the precedence how it is required. So if it is an input based requirement and the each module are dependent on each other, then you can go with the what you can say, the same precedence. If they are independent and this thing, then you can set your precedence and how it is required. That can be analyzed by your what you can say, the project manager. Okay, then it comes maintaining the business case. In maintaining the business case this mainly deals with the sponsors. Okay, maintaining the business case, this is mainly deals with the what you can say, the sponsors. The main concern about the project sponsor is that is the stakeholder who is putting the money, obviously, is whether the business case for the project has been preserved. Okay, then the value of benefits of the project is greater than its cost, then it would be viable. So maintaining the business case means you need to take care of the sponsors first, and after the sponsors you need to take care of how much amount you are investing in that and how much profit you are getting out of it. Okay, so you should not it should not happen like that. So you are going to invest a more amount, you are going to get a less profit out of it, means it will be not viable for that particular company. So whenever you are investing a money and whenever you are putting a money on some of the concepts, means so it is better you are going to analyze how much profit you are getting out of it, and likewise you need to maintain a good relationship with your sponsors of the same project. Okay, then it comes exception planning. Okay, in some cases operational change may affect the other stakeholders. That is what, if something happens in between, so you should be ready with your other plan, saying that okay, if it is not working, so it should not affect your stakeholders, it should not affect the other operational which depends on this. So the plan or the other plan should be ready to how to work out with the same type. Thank you.